So today I'd like to kind of go over Git. So we're going to call this one Get Git. And I recommend you use GitHub and you create an account on GitHub. That's what I'm going to be using. However, there is Bitbucket is another place where you can do Git. Git is about source control management. It's managing projects. It allows you to take a history of a project you've done. And so I'll go ahead and show you an example of one of the projects that we worked on. And you will see a list of files that we worked on. Various people worked on it. And in this case, it had 5 contributors. And you've probably, at some point or other, if you've done any kind of development and you've researched anything about programming or web design or web development, you've probably landed on GitHub or heard about a Git repository or a GitHub repository. That's what we're talking about. Basically what this is it's a, we've stored our project on the cloud. And so in this case, it's stored on GitHub. And then anyone who's working on the project can actually get a copy of the project and work on it. And then when they've made certain changes, they can save those changes and upload it. We call it committing our changes. And I first want to just talk about getting started. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get an account on GitHub. Now GitHub, if for free, you can have unlimited private repositories. If you want public repositories. If you want private repositories, you would have to probably pay for that. So with that being said, once you have an account, what you want to do is you want to, now my recommended way of doing this is you got 2 options. You can create your project and then upload it to a repository and create the repository that way. Many of my students who I'm doing this presentation for have already begun work on a project and they're already well underway. So their job is going to be to get the existing project under source control, which means they're going to put it into a repository that will store it and allow them to work on it and then save their changes. So while I'm talking about it, just an idea to see, let me just go over it one more time. I want to just remind you of a couple aspects of it. If I click on commits, you will note it'll have a list. It'll have like a name and a little description, like update ellipsebox CS or adjusting create band page or upgrading to 8.1, etc., etc. So usually what it is it'll tell you the day this was changed, and you get a little description of it. Now if I click on it, it'll show me the actual changes that were made and on what files. Okay. So it shows anything red is something that got removed or modified, anything green is something that's been added. Okay. So what's nice about this in version control is it lets you keep a history of everything you've done. And at any point you can go back to your project when it was committed and we can get exactly the state of the project. So let me show you an example of that. So I want to go to May 5th of this project. And I'm going to go to adding edit grades tile. Now I can click on this little window here and I have all the files where it was at that commit on May 5th. I got exactly where they were. It's all preserved in history. And I can get a copy of this project and I can move back and forth between all the different commits. Not only that, but you're going to see there's different branches that are involved. So I'm going to go to what's called the master branch, and we're going to keep it simple. We're going to create a simple project, put it under version control, make a few changes, capture those changes, and just see how that works.